Welcome everyone. You're joining us here on CNN News 18 for a very special conversation, the first of its kind on any news network. I'm joined by none other than the man who's been credited with the Women's World Cup win in the ODI format and the first that India has achieved, none other than Amol Muzumdar. Amol, thanks a lot for speaking to CNN News 18.
Pleasure. Thanks for the introduction.
Tell me, how's it been since the World Cup win? How has life been?
It's been pretty good. Pretty good. One month has passed, but in that I've happened to meet the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable President, Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra and the Deputy Chief Minister. And also have been on the KBC shoot with Amitabh Bachchan sir. So I think it's been quite good.
Yes, it must have been a roller coaster since then. Not just for you, I mean some of the players that we've been interacting with as well. I mean winning a World Cup and also the response that the country gave to this World Cup win. Did you see that coming?
To be very honest, no. Of course, we knew what we were getting into. We knew what the World Cup win would get us to, but I never thought that it would touch these kind of emotions with the people. I mean, the response that we are getting in the last 1 month has been overwhelming, I would say.
I'm asking you this because we know how India reacts to men's cricket. Were you surprised at all that it was a World Cup win and a big win in its own respect, but women's cricket has been fighting for that kind of spotlight? Were you surprised at all that so many people were watching all throughout the World Cup actually, and of course how joyous they were and how participative they were as far as this entire campaign is concerned?
As I said, it was overwhelming, you know. I never thought that it would cross, so many millions and probably, I don't know how many millions watched outside, but never thought that it would touch these kind of emotions. And but I was really happy, really glad for the team, for these girls, that they have worked so hard for it, and they are the pioneers of women's cricket in India, and really glad that whatever credit they are getting, whatever accolades they are getting, I think they deserve every bit of it because they've worked hard, and I have been a witness to it right throughout the last 2 years.
Now, before I get to the entire journey of the World Cup, I do want to ask you this as well. Do you think women's cricket has truly arrived now in India or globally? Because, Indian successes are often a cue of how well cricket would do globally as well. So I think this Indian World Cup win has also lifted the status, and the kind of matches you played and the girls won. It really lifted the status of the female game globally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this could be the catalyst of what we are going to see.
The 1983 moment that everybody is talking about.
Probably, even more.
Even more.
Because I grew up in that era where 1983 changed lives for many. We have seen so many ex-cricketers saying that they saw the World Cup win and they got inspired to play cricket. And I think this 2025 World Cup win would change that and I would hope that it just doesn't change for cricket in India. I
All
hope
female sports.
Every sport. I think it should be a watershed moment for any female who has taken sport as their profession.
What did it mean to the girls? Can you share with us some behind the scenes moments that we haven't heard of or haven't known of? What did it mean to them?
Well, I mean, it's very hard to describe, Shivani. I mean, it was just a surreal moment. When Harman took that catch and she went out on a roll. She just went off. The roar of the crowd was unbelievable. I actually had goosebumps. I'm having goosebumps even now. Sometimes when I watch the reel, even now after a month, you get those goosebump moments. And it's been surreal, as I said. We celebrated that really nicely.
How was it?
The fact that 50,000 people in D.Y. Patil Stadium stayed back for all the celebrations, and we went back, I think, to the room at about 2:30 in the morning. Not to the room, but I think we celebrated that quite nicely. It was 8:30 in the morning that we went back
So
to
what
our
all happened? Share something with us.
we enjoyed, as we have enjoyed each other's company, we enjoyed that moment really nicely. It was fantastic to see all the players coming out there, their families there. It meant so much.
Exactly, must have meant so much to their families, especially, right? So much struggle for them.
The struggle, the sacrifices that they've made, it was all for that one moment, one catch that Harman took, and it all got. I mean, it erupted after that. So I thought it was superbly. I mean, it was scripted really nicely.
Lots of tears for you as well.
I'm not a too emotional person. I try to control my emotions on a cricket field. I've learnt over the years, but there was a moment where I was allowed to shed a couple of tears.
Yes.
Yeah. I think when I met Smriti, that was the one where I recollected a lot of stuff that we had gone through in the last 2 years. The emotions, the energies that were flowing in and around the camps, the hard work that went along, and above all, what I felt really good about was this team. They're good human beings, very good human beings. It couldn't have happened to better people.
That's really stood out, actually, Amol. I'm interested you mentioned that, because just the way they were supporting each other, the way they were talking about each other, the way they celebrated with former women's cricketers and really dedicated their win to them, who had laid down the path for them in much worse times than what Harman has grown up for. Because I remember when the equal pay was announced, I interviewed Harman and she was like, when I started, BCCI had taken over women's cricket. So I have seen the good run. But imagine when, these female players used to travel in trains, long journeys, hardly any fees, etc. to today. So this very humane but very loving side of the team was a big feature that all of us noticed. They're all very thick together, isn't it? And they're all best friends.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part of it. I don't think there's any wood here, but it was just unbelievable to see what it meant for them. And it was really nice of them to share the trophy with the former cricketers. I always have been a believer that, you shouldn't be forgetting your past. You should always recollect your history, because that evokes a lot of passion to the game, and you stay in the present, and you also take care of your future. So you should never forget your past.
Speaking of past, your past is legendary as well, as someone who's been this huge player in domestic cricket, but never went on to don the whites or the blue jersey for India. You talked about how you've learned on the pitch not to show your emotions. That's because you were such a long format player. For you, has this World Cup win as a coach somehow brought it all full circle? The fact that you missed out on representing India as a player?
You can say so, in many terms. But to be very honest, when I retired into 2012-13 season, I parked those thoughts away, and I thought that that's never going to happen again. So might as well come to terms to it. When I started playing cricket in the late 80s, always grew up in that emotion, saying that or the dream was there to play for India, but it never happened. So 30 years have passed, almost 35, and those emotions were parked at a place. But I did get this opportunity to represent India in a different role, and I readily took up that opportunity, I think. And you can say that it has come a full circle. But I also would like to say that sport has taught me over the years, last 35 years, that every day the scoreboard changes. Every day the scoreboard changes, the applause fades, but the impact what you can have on someone else's career, remains forever. So I thought this was a great opportunity for me to represent the country.
So when you took up the role, it was barely 2 years before the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
What was your mindset? What did you see in the Indian setup at that time, and what was your goal? What was that one thing you thought, okay, this is what I have to change or improve?
I think when I took up the job, there were a lot of things, because I was involved with men's cricket for the entire career
Yes.
of mine. Almost 30 years that I was involved with men's cricket. I had to, of course, there was a little bit of difference between men's cricket and women's cricket, so I had to unlearn a few things and then relearn certain things. But the main focus was, if we can win. If we can win the World Cup. I'll tell you a little bit of an anecdote. I think let them pass.
Yeah. Go ahead, yes.
I'll tell you a little bit of an anecdote. When I took over, I've got a charter board, which, in my first meeting, I had a sort of a charter board. The first question that was presented to the team was, what's your ultimate goal? And all 15 of them replied to win a World Cup. That was a great start, I felt. So the benchmark was set on the first meeting itself, and then on 2nd November 2025, it turned into reality.
Yeah, absolutely. There has to be single-minded focus, and it seemed all of the girls had that focus because everybody knew what that one World Cup title, they had come close to it as well, some of these players.
Yeah.
So I think that yearning was there. What was it that you thought that the Indian team was lacking and you built with them over the last 2 years?
So, when I took up the job, there was nothing. We were never short of skills or ability, cricketing wise, which I realized very quickly because the first series that we played was against England. The second one was against Australia, the best in the world. So from that series, I could gauge that we are not short on cricketing skills. All we need to focus on is the fitness part, and we need to improve our fielding. So fitness and fielding were the two aspects which we really put a lot of effort in, and luckily for the team, they all thought the same, and we did work extremely hard in the last 2 years on fitness and fielding.
It showed during the World Cup as well, but the mental fortitude as well. Speaking of that, after those initial setbacks that happened and, those consecutive losses, didn't really seem like India had any hope in the campaign. So what was the mood like at that time? What did you tell the girls at that time?
To be very honest, the dressing room after the third loss against England, I can term it as loss now, but what we spoke in the dressing room was we couldn't cross the line. There was never a sentence that we said that we had lost the game. We just couldn't cross the line. The game was in our pocket, but we just let it slip off. And the mood was, it wasn't great, I would say, for obvious reasons. But at the same time, they knew that if they have to do something special, they'll have to come out of this and finish the games. We stressed a lot in the post meeting that we had after England game that we need to finish it off, and someone will have to take the lead and do that. It can't happen in the meetings, or it cannot happen in the dressing room. You need to go out there and do it. And unless and until we do that, I think it will be half done.
Yeah. So in the that stand between Smriti and Pratika against New Zealand, do you think that was the turning point then? Because we never really saw back after that. And this thing that you're talking about, that somebody needs to stand up and kind of deliver towards the end, that started from there.
I think, that New Zealand game was a crunch game. People talk about the Australia game. Of course, it was very crucial, the semi-finals. But I call it a quarter-final because it was a do-or-die situation. And it was on a thin edge. We were all on thin edge because a loss at that time would have meant curtains, game over. So I personally feel that day against New Zealand was the most important day in this World Cup because it just changed. It just didn't change the course of the World Cup, but it changed the mood in the dressing room.
Precisely.
The partnership that blossomed between Pratika and Smriti, it just gave a fillip to the others, including the support staff.
Including yourself.
Yeah. The butterflies in the stomach just settled down a little.
It must have given belief to everybody because after that, literally everybody put up their hand sometime or the other in the batting, bowling, fielding, in every match after that, and every match was a tough one. It's not that the matches were easy, but everybody put up their hand up at some point or the other, and it seemed like everybody was playing with a lot of belief. And it's very rare, you don't really see this in team sport even, where the entire team is on the same level of emotion. It's not just one or two people carrying them.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the belief went in. And that's why I keep saying this, that this Indian team, this Indian women's cricket team, is a very special one. Because I've learned on the job that if they start believing in what they can achieve, or if they start putting their mind to it, they will be unstoppable.
Yeah, and I will come to the future of this team in just a bit, but I want to trace this World Cup journey with you. Then came that big match against Australia, and after Smriti and Shefali got out, at that point were the butterflies back, and what was the mood like? Before we realized that Jemimah was about to play, the innings of her life, what was the mood like? And did it feel like it's out of our hands?
No. 338, Australia had got 338 on the board. I mean, I just felt that there was no point in talking about that, because when a player is fielding for 50 overs and the opposition is 338 on the board, and the opposition like Australia have got 338, you don't have to say much in the dressing room. So just to simplify things, just wrote a line saying one more run needed than Australia. It was just to simplify things.
Simple equation.
You have to. I think when Smriti got out down the leg side, we just need one good partnership. One good partnership. The belief was there. And that's all it needed. I think it started from there, Jemmy and then Harman. Harman, I think, when she played a few shots, the mood changed in the dressing room as well.
Both of them, probably from Harman it was kind of expected. But, Jemimah took the world by storm with her knock, and also because, she carried on for long. What would you say about that innings that she played?
Innings of a lifetime, I guess. It just doesn't happen often. If she can beat that, I would be very glad.
She would be very glad.
Yeah. But just magnificent innings. There are very few innings that over a period of last 2 years, I've seen some terrific knocks. Smriti, I must have seen some 14-15 hundreds of Smriti in the last 2 years. I must have seen Harman's couple of knocks. One in England that she played in Durham. It was a, in cricketing terms, you say a chabuk innings. But this knock, given the pressure, given the ambience, was just out of this world.
And it seemed like it was flowing very easy for her. Like it felt like she was enjoying it. That zone that you talk about for athletes, she seemed in that zone.
I think she was completely in the zone. You just hit that zone very rarely you hit that zone as an athlete. I think she was zoned in just to take India beyond that line. And we crossed the line against Australia on that day.
So from that point onwards, like Harman has said this publicly, that once we won against Australia, there was these conversations that happened with very, internally on phone calls and all. I think she was speaking to a former player, Julian Goswami maybe, and she said, now we're not losing. After the semi-final win, that was the final before the final of sorts. So after that, was it like, okay, we are just not going back without the trophy now?
I mean, we were confident.
Were you trying to mellow down the team after that win?
Yeah.
It seems like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, in sport, you never know. And, I've seen some ups and downs in the game. I just wanted to be level-headed. Just wanted to be in the moment. And to be in the present is very crucial. And just... again, there was a slight bit of a reminder to each and every one, including the support staff, because there was a lot of emotions that were expelled on 30th of October against Australia. I was a little bit on the back foot, if you can say, that I just wanted them to be in the present. There was a slight reminder that we have worked hard for the last 2 years, not for 30th October, but for 2nd November. So just wanted them to be in present, and wow, I mean, they responded.
Yeah, because sometimes
really well.
after such a big win, as you said, emotions get expended, and then where do you get more for that one final hurrah, isn't it? So you have to kind of keep that hunger and that level alive.
Correct. I mean, you just have to hold back a little bit. We can understand the euphoria. You can understand I mean, everywhere we went, it was just final jeetna hai. It just adds on. Yeah. But just had to stay within the boundary, or if you can say the periphery. As a coach, it was my job. It was my duty to get them back in the present.
Okay, so we've come to the final, and the final saw the kind of fireworks that it did. One innings or one performance that stands out is, of course, Shefali. Getting her in just for the last 2 matches. First of all, can you take me through that decision and that call, because she had been dropped earlier, and she had been, of course, not picked in the squad. So then to go back to her only for the final 2 matches, how did that call come about? What was your take on it, and what did you feel about it?
It was very unfortunate for Pratika to miss out on the semis and the finals. I mean, she was in great form. I mean, you've seen what kind of a player she is. In 23 innings, she has crossed 1,000 runs. It's a world record in itself. So she's been a very special player ever since she has started playing international cricket. It was very unfortunate, but that's the nature of the game. You have to be, again, you got to stay in the present. And I can tell you this, that the moment the news arrived that she's out for the semi-finals, I mean, she's done. Me and Harman, we crossed each other, and within, I mean, both of us said it at the same time. Shefali, done. It was just.
So that's all it took.
Yeah, that's all. It was.
And why that belief and faith in Shefali?
She was playing well. She was scoring runs, and just the maverick that she is.
You didn't think it was too much of a gamble?
No. Sometimes against a team like Australia, or in the finals or the semi-finals, you need those kind of players where, you know, you can
Just unleash them.
yeah, I mean, she came and she just batted as if she had never been out of international cricket. That's the beauty of Shefali Verma.
And she bowled so amazingly when given the chance in the final. And it all came together, isn't it? I think the last 2 matches, or even the last 3 matches of the World Cup for India were like, you know, almost a fairy tale. It's like when the movie is made on you and the girls, these matches are going to be like cinematic gold, isn't it? Because they had so much. They had everything.
Yeah.
They had an injury, for example, to Pratika.
Correct.
You know, having someone who's batting at the top of the order and go out of the team, and somebody coming in, you know, having not being in the team.
It's
Everything.
just scripted, I think. I don't know. God is great. So it's been Shefali bowling in the finals. I think it was Harman's call.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew. We had discussed this the previous night with Shefali also. That she knew that she was going to be an option. We were playing 6 bowlers in the finals, so she was obviously Shefali was going to be the 7th option, and I didn't know Harman was going to bring her on. It was just an instinctive call by the captain, and it was a superb one. You know, sometimes as a coach, you just have to appreciate what the captain does. In cricket, it is always the captain who leads it, not the coach, not the manager. It's just out there in the middle. You need to take those decisions, and that's why it's a captain's call.
Tell me more about Harman, the captain, but how would you describe her, both on field and off field?
I think she plays multiple roles in the team. She's a captain on the field. She's a leader of it. She's a lovely leader. She's got a humane side to her, you know, and very passionate about the sport. Very passionate about taking the sport to next level. You know, every time we've had discussions, I don't know how many times I must have had discussions in the last 2 years, but every time I've had, she's always spoken about women's cricket, to take it to another level. We need to do this and that. It was just a very passionate cricketer, and she's been just a superb leader of this bunch. And you could see it. You could see it. You know, the way she operates. I've said this before, but when Harman walks into the room, you know that Harman has walked into the room. So she commands that respect of each and every one.
Without really overdoing it, I think she's very effortless about herself and very unassuming per se, but certainly has an aura about her. Yeah. So tell me, what do you see in future for this team? You know, this rich vein of form, this momentum. How far do you think they can take them? The talent that they have, or the strength, the bench strength that they may have, that women's cricket may have right now. What do you think they can continue to achieve?
I think women's cricket in the next few years would grow exponentially, and in that I'm talking about young women cricketers taking inspiration from this team and taking a leaf out of this book of the World Cup and just taking the sport ahead in our country. This team has got that potential. This team has got the talent to take it to another level. And
the youngsters as well, you know,
Yep.
when the likes of Smriti or Harman step back, do you think we've got enough firepower to go on and continue this momentum?
I always believe if you have a system running, you will always have the talent that will come through. And at the moment, BCCI have got a fantastic system that runs. And again, you know, we have encouraged it at the right time. The WPL has come in at the correct time. Last 3 years we are seeing the results. Plus the pay parity, what was brought in by Mr. Jaisha in the last 3 years was, it's kind of a correct encouragement at the right time that players could take this sport, or women cricketers could take this sport and make it their profession. I would love it to grow exponentially in the next 5 years.
How long do we see you with the women's setup?
Good question. I think I'm not the correct person to answer. I've enjoyed every bit. I've enjoyed my time, and I've learned a lot in the last 2 years. Of course, I've been with men's cricket all my life, but I've enjoyed my time with these young women cricketers, the passionate cricketers. Hope it continues.
Yeah, given the opportunity, you would be hoping to continue this momentum and maybe lead to another cycle as well?
Yes, I would love to.
Can I ask you a little bit about some of the other two players that I wanted to talk to you about? One is Smriti, her overall performance in the World Cup, the highest run scorer. There were a few very brilliant innings or individual innings, Jemima in the semis, Shefali in the final. So sometimes her contribution gets a little bit, not sidelined or forgotten, but it kind of gets lost. But your words on Smriti and the role that she played in this entire World Cup?
Magnificent. Absolute magnificent. She is, how do I explain? I'm short of words, generally I'm not. But with Smriti, very intricate player. She loves to go into intricate detail about batting. No wonder we see the results, what she gets. And I'll tell you, just don't look at World Cup. If you see in last 24 months, what she has done in Indian cricket is phenomenal. The reason why I say that is that she has given a belief to each and every person in the team, and I mean even the support staff, the belief to beat the best in the world and to be the best in the world. She has given that belief in the team. Just a magnificent player. I've seen some players over the years, but probably the best left-hander I've seen. The best left-hander.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And what about Richa Ghosh? What was the brief to her? Did you know that she's gonna go and pummel those sixes with so much ease? Was that the brief to her, that just go do your own thing? Because some of the shots she was playing and some of the sixes she was hitting was amazing.
She's world class. She's a world beater, and I keep stressing on this, that she's a world class player. And if I was a coach of an opposition team, I would be wary of Richa Ghosh.
You would say watch out for her.
Yep, I would, because the talent, the amount of I would say the ease with which she hits a six is second to none in world cricket. I think she can stand and deliver the ball out of the ground, and that's the potential what Richa has. I think she's world class.
So did you try to use that in a specific way, by changing the batting order once or twice, or did you tell her when she went out that okay, do this, get a quick knock?
Yeah, in a sense that we have, we as in the team management, and that's including Harman, Smriti, myself, that we feel that she's a finisher. She could be the finisher, whether it is when we are setting up the score or we are chasing the score. So she's a finisher. She could be the finisher that we want, and she has been given a specific role to play, and this has been stressed to her in a lot of discussions. and we have just allowed her to play the way she wants, because sometimes you just can't tell that kind of talent what to do. You just have to allow it to blossom, and I think Richa has got that potential.
Okay. It's been a very amazing chat to just pick your brains about this World Cup success, and I think it's one of those stories that we're going to be talking about for many, many years to come. But Amol, if there was that one moment that you had to pick from this entire campaign, what would you pick? That was the most satisfying for you, let's say, as a coach, somebody who has worked towards this end goal with these girls for 2 years.
I think the most satisfying, I would say, when that moment where Harman stepped on the stage, did that bhangra.
Yes, she did the bhangra and then the Rohit Sharma thing.
And then when she lifted the cup, I think that was the most satisfying. I mean, if you're an Indian, no matter how many times you see that on the reels, you would still be proud of that moment.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a good note to end on, because that moment was a very, very high note for India's campaign to end on. So, Amol, thanks a lot for sitting down with us and sharing your thoughts.
Pleasure.
Thank you.